There was always something untouchable about him. In the way he walked, silent but sure. In the way he smiled, soft, never too wide, never too long. In the way he disappeared just before the cameras could catch too much. He was not aloof, just distant, like a star a little farther from the others, glowing quietly in his own orbit. To the world, Jing was a mystery wrapped in calm. For years, Bai Jingting moved through the Chinese entertainment industry like a wisp of fog, present, visible, but never graspable. He delivered performance after performance, pouring silent intensity into each role, making hearts fall with nothing more than a glance. But outside the screen, he was careful, almost invisible. No scandals, no tabloid chases, no photos with hands accidentally brushing another's. His fans knew little more than what he chose to give. A few thoughtful interviews, a shy smile at fan meets, and the occasional late-night post that said more with silence than 1,000 words ever could. He was safe, they said. Real, untouched by the frenzy that often swallowed young stars whole. Until one day, everything changed. It wasn't a grand reveal. There was no red carpet, no dramatic backdrop, no gold-lettered statement. Just a quiet room, a simple online interview, and a question that fell like a stone in still water. Is there someone special in your life? For a moment, silence. Then a sigh, barely there. And then, with a voice steady as the stillest sea, he said, yes. I'm in a relationship. And no, she's not in the industry. That was all. But that sentence cracked open the sky. Hashtag Bing Bomb trended within seconds. The internet, for a moment, forgot to breathe. Fans clutched their hearts, whispering aloud to empty rooms, he said it. Messages flooded timelines. Broken, hopeful, confused, proud. I knew it, but why does it still hurt? He deserves happiness, even if it's not with me. At least he was honest. But my heart, it's in pieces. I'm crying and smiling at the same time. This is what love looks like. It wasn't just the revelation that stunned the public. It was how he said it. No apologies, no theatrics, just the truth, spoken with the kind of quiet bravery that feels louder than any scream. And slowly, as pieces fell into place, the past began to make sense. That one time he missed a red carpet and said it was for rest. The time he was spotted at a bookstore far from his usual haunts, buying poetry instead of scripts. A blurry photo from last year, him and a woman walking 2 steps apart, barely visible, yet something about the image lingered. The birthday post he once made, a single white heart, no caption. It had all been there. The whispers of a love carefully kept, like petals protected from a storm. Later, in a follow-up interview broadcasted to millions, Jing sat still, his fingers laced tightly. I didn't hide it to deceive anyone, he said softly, eyes dark with emotion. I hid it to protect her. She's not a celebrity. She didn't ask for this world. She didn't ask to be chased by lenses or dissected by strangers. He paused, his voice lowering. I love her peace, her quiet life, her soft mornings and unfiltered laugh. I didn't want my world to swallow hers. I wanted to keep her real. And just like that, hearts across the country melted. For years, he had been the mystery everyone tried to solve. But in truth, he was just a man in love, trying to guard something precious in a world that devours intimacy for sport. Suddenly, a post surfaced. It was from Zhang Runan, a name now spoken with breath held. She wasn't famous, not in the way the public often demands. A children's book editor, soft-spoken, with eyes that seemed to always be reading something beyond the room. On her verified account, a simple sentence appeared. Sometimes love doesn't need to shout. One glance is enough to feel safe in the whole world. A white heart at the end. That was all it took. The digital puzzle completed itself. Clips resurfaced, unnoticed until now, of Jing glancing at someone off camera and smiling in a way he never did on set. A quick handoff of an umbrella. 2 takeout boxes with identical orders. Moments once dismissed now gleamed with meaning. They had built a fortress of love in the smallest gestures. The fandom fractured then slowly folded back in on itself. The comments changed over time. He kept her safe. That's love. I wish them peace. Real love is rare, heartbroken, but proud. He taught us how to protect what matters. In a space that so often demands performers to become puppets, Jing's quiet truth was a revolution. He wasn't chasing trends or building a narrative. He was simply telling the truth, on his own terms. And when asked if he planned to go public further, perhaps with photos or statements, he smiled gently and said, "We're still learning about each other. But one thing I know for sure, I'm serious. And love, for me, doesn't need to be loud to be real." Behind the scenes, they had already written their story. In evenings spent walking unnoticed. In shared meals and laughter unrecorded. In letters, maybe. Or glances. Or the sacred space between 2 people who chose each other when no one else was watching. This was never about scandal. Never about spectacle. This was about a man who lived in the spotlight, finally stepping into the shade to hold the hand of someone he loved. And that, perhaps, is the purest kind of rebellion. In a world obsessed with exposure, he chose discretion. In an industry that rewards drama, he chose devotion. In a timeline where attention is currency, he chose a quiet love. And as the days passed, and the hashtags faded into quieter ripples, one truth remained. Love doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes, it's a steady flame behind a curtain. A name never spoken aloud, but etched in every heartbeat. A gaze caught in passing. A heart guarded gently, fiercely, truly. Jing reminded the world of something forgotten. That to love quietly in a noisy world is an act of immense courage. That protecting someone's peace is one of the greatest forms of love. That real love isn't always found on stages, but in stillness. And that sometimes, the loudest declaration is a whisper.